And every one of the City of Perry staff's core values. It is a strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented. Shows professionalism and integrity, is a team player, is accountable, and is a good steward. Roll call, please.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, next up is the meeting agenda. We did have one request for another special presentation by some Perry High School students that did a signage program, so we'd like to add that right behind Ms. Scheib's presentation. So if I could have a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I move that we approve the amended agenda.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Andor,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, next up's the consent agenda. We had 2 minutes of the April 6th, 2026 regular city council meeting and the April 26th special proposed tax levy public hearing meeting. We had 7 payments for contract services, 6 to Bolton and Mank, 1 to Eocene Environmental Group for a total of $36,726.60. Claims registers and financials of $374,801.23. And 2 applications for renewal of retail tobacco permit. The R Smoke Shop on First Avenue and the Dollar General Store also on First Avenue. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
And I will second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, we'll turn it over to Sven for his admin report.
All right, couple of things. First off, had a conversation with the mayor and a couple of council members, but wanted to just update all of council. I think a few of you may have gotten some calls about a shooting range on the northwest side of Perry. That's been a previous discussion. That the property owner was given permission by city council to bow hunt within city limits. But this parcel that shooting is taking place on is in unincorporated Dallas County, not within city limits. So I did pass along all of our information to a couple of different folks at Dallas County, just so they had our information and what we had allowed. So it is a county topic. And it's right next to city limits, so I'm sure it's loud in that neighborhood.
It is loud
And
and it's after dark.
yep, so
You know, if there's any,
more can be,
any limits on a place they can shoot? If there's anything like that, as part
I
of
don't think,
regulate those things.
well, that would all be through Dallas County and, to have a commercial operation versus just a private person shooting their own firearms are 2 different things. So that's where I turned it over to Dallas County Planning and Development for that side. Because just from a zoning perspective, would not be an allowable use without some sort of variance or conditional use permit or something like that. So that would be up to the county and, might get into DNR regulations and things like that as well. So none of that should be going on within city limits for what we have given permission for. So,
But didn't we have to give our okay for that?
he requested permission to shoot firearms within city limits, but city council only gave permission for bow hunting within city limits. Just one triangle of his property is outside of city limits. So that's, to where my knowledge, that's where the shooting is happening. So,
So is
um,
Dallas County gonna look into this then?
I believe so. I sent them all the information today, so maybe in the next few days we'll hear more. So, but I'll keep council up to speed on that as I get information back from.
So just to clarify real quick, Sven, I don't mean to hijack your
Nope.
city administrator's report. I think there's some people here to talk about the forum. I think part of the problem is that these kind of loopholing that county situation by shooting from the county, but the projectiles are actually ending up in city property. I think that is a lot of the concern as far as the safety, not to mention the noise concern.
Yep.
So just wanted to
And-
clarify that.
Yeah, which I agree on that front. But from a, actually discharging them within city limits, we don't have any jurisdiction over that. So I can't say, I haven't been there to see it in person of exactly where people are shooting towards, but
You don't
It would not be- yeah, it would not be a direction or situation that I would choose to shoot a firearm in. So, but sheriff and planning and zoning has been brought into the loop on this conversation. So as I have more conversations with them, I can keep everybody in the loop.
So Sven, the question would be, if he's shooting in the county and the discharge is going into the city, is that when the city can say something about it or do something about it? If I understand that it in the county is legal.
I would defer to our legal counsel on that
Like to hear what the legal counsel say about that, if any.
and or Chief Archer. But
If
we
it-
can also do more research on it
Yes.
and then let everybody know.
Yes.
But if you have any specific questions or anything like that, let Dewey and I know. We can get some particular questions answered.
Yeah, because I hate to have
I
something
think, I
happen to
think that's the
somebody.
question right there, Dewey, if they're shooting in the county. And is, the bullets are landing in the city, is that an issue?
Have to-
Go back there. I mean, I think that's the property borders it. I hear.
Bill Walsh.
I hear
Yeah.
the city.
We'll do it during open forum, so sorry. Yeah. And- Okay, so any more, administrator?
Just that the downtown project is moving along. They made progress on getting some sanitary sewer installed today, so we'll continue to get that going.
Was
Any
that
other-
asbestos removal? I saw the guys out there with.
Yes, I believe they are done today.
Yeah.
They got done, so now we'll be able to move back and kind of converge on that alley and we'll get that paved back in a month or so. Yep. What I've got.
Anything else for Sven? Okay, Mayor Council comments. First thing is a proclamation for National Libraries Week. So I'd like to read that to you right now. So whereas libraries spark creativity, fuel imagination, and inspire lifelong learning, offering a space where individuals of all ages can find joy through exploration and discovery. Whereas libraries serve as vibrant community hubs, connecting people with knowledge, technology, and resources, while fostering civic engagement, critical thinking, and cultural enrichment. Whereas libraries provide free and equitable access to books, digital tools, and innovative programming, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have the support they need to learn, connect, and thrive. Whereas libraries partner with schools, businesses, and organizations to maximize resources, increase efficiency, and expand access to essential services, strengthening the entire community. Whereas libraries empower job seekers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners by providing access to resources, training, and opportunity. They provide career growth and economic success Whereas libraries nurture young minds through story times, STEM programs, and literacy initiatives, fostering curiosity and a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Whereas libraries protect the right to read, think, and explore without censorship, standing as champions of intellectual freedom and free expression. Whereas dedicated librarians and library workers provide welcoming spaces that inspire discovery, collaboration, and creativity for all. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers across the country are joining together to celebrate National Library Week under the theme, Find Your Joy. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Dirk Kavanaugh, Mayor, proclaim April 19th to 25th, 2026 as National Library Week. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit Perry Public Library, explore its resources, and celebrate all the ways that the library helps our community find joy. And other than that, I wanted to comment. Okay. Okay.
Thank you all very much. for all your
Okay. Then the only other thing is we had a good meeting last week with the RegBri president or managing director, or whatever his title is.
Staff.
And the staff and all the community and county safety personnel about. So the talks have started about the ride coming through town, what we need to do to be prepared. And we have a group that's going to start meeting weekly to plan our activities. And there's plenty of room for volunteers. So if anybody would like to join that, please get a hold of Lindsay at the chamber. So, okay. Okay. So that, and then I'll open it up to council comments.
I'd just like to echo what the mayor here in his proclamation. Our library is and libraries in general, particularly ours, is something to celebrate every week, every day. It's not your grandma's library anymore. Our libraries have moved forward, and our library does a great job, Once again, soon with summer, we'll have a great program for children, and we have great programs all year long. So thank you to you and your staff.
It is still my grandma's library, though.
Yeah. It's not like
Quite
it
often.
was when she was 5 years old.
But it's
Probably
her
not.
grandson's library. too.
Yeah.
Great grandson.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I know it's a great library.
It is a great
Thank you.
library and
Yeah.
fabulous staff.
Anything else from the council? Okay, that brings us to open forum. So speakers are asked to step up to the microphone, state their name and address for the records, and you'll be given 3 minutes to address the council. So please come forward.
Not yet, Sherry.
Go ahead.
You're on the agenda.
No, it's useless.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? I'm not a very good public speaker, so I don't even want to be here, but I'm here. So bring it up on your notes.
Oh, name and
I'm
address
sorry.
real quick.
My name is David Crooks, Crooks. I live at 804 Park Street. I'm the last house on the north before Frog Creek. I'm hearing concerns about the gun shooting, the gun range. This has been going on for a couple of years. I don't know if you all realize this. So I drove semi for the state of Iowa. Well, I was a couple years ago. When it first started happening, Sunday night, 11 p.m., I'm sleeping because I get up at 3:30 in the morning, go drive all around the state of Iowa in a semi, and just random. And I'm like, there's somebody in the woods shooting down here. I'm shaking a little bit because I haven't had a lot of sleep. I'm a little stirred up. So I called sheriff's office. I didn't even know anybody bought the property down there or anything. 11 o'clock at night, I'm thinking there's somebody, maybe there's somebody shooting somebody or something, whatever. So I called sheriff. Sheriff called me back half hour later. Well, yeah, he's out of county or out of city. So he's okay. So anyways, I want to bring it to your attention. Supposedly he's out of city limits. He has 3 parcels of property. There's parcel, and then a little tiny triangle. That little tiny triangle, the reason it's triangle is because the old railroad track berms runs along there. That's the only part of the property that's out of city limits. He shoots from there. His targets go all the way down through the city. And I can guarantee it because you can walk out there and look and see them. I have pictures of them on my phone. The city has a a walking path along the creek. There's even a sign that says City of Perry. There's a bridge. You can walk along the creek right there, right beside it. And I went down, I usually take my dog down there, walk down the creek in the spring. I have a big old black mastiff, about this big, the kindest dog you ever met. And we went down there, I suppose about a month ago. That was before all this kind of blew up and everything. And walked down there. And I'm like, wow, he's got a berm, a pile of dirt about this tall. The targets are right here. That's at 500 meters, okay? I'm a little upset. You say this is for personal? And why on Facebook does he have a flyer saying that you can go out there and rent his guns? He has a whole selection of guns, including 250 caliber rifles that go for 3 to 4 miles. You don't even got to get hit by a 50 caliber rifle. If that thing comes within a foot or two of you, you're dead. They don't even allow you to shoot 50 caliber rifles at Camp Dodge. Camp Dodge has a 20-foot berm. Anyways. That railroad runs along here. There's your little park back there. There's a soccer field right there. Now I want to go over a few city ordinances, okay, and a couple state ordinances. This is zoning regulations for Perry. So his 2 properties are in agricultural district. 2 of the 3 parcels. Okay. Exceptions. However, uses which may be offensive to the surrounding area or the community as a whole by reasons of noise, dust, smoke, odor, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. That's one. And that's City of Perry's ordinance, okay? No, I mean, we all have to comply with North's ordinance. That's why you outlawed fireworks. Am I right or wrong? I mean, people are complaining it's loud. Them guns are louder than the fireworks. I'm sorry. I'm pro Second Amendment. Follow your laws, get your guns, go shoot them at the range. Okay, here's another one. Code of Ordinances, Perry, City of Perry. Disorderly conduct, 40.03. This is what all of us city members have to live by. Disorderly conduct. Number 2, noise. Make loud and raucous noise in the vicinity of a residence or public building which causes unreasonable distress to the occupant thereof. Okay, you see me shaking? Saturday night, 9:45. I'm on my couch. Fell asleep watching a movie with my wife. Boom! They're out there shooting 50 caliber. I think they're blowing stuff up. So I call the law saying they're lighting bombs off or something. Of course, and the law came out about 20 minutes later. They were there for a while. They shut down, left. Well, if we got to comply to that, I guess my whole point is. No, I kind of forgot.
Need to speed it up a little bit so we can kind of get through these because
so discharging weapons. Code of Iowa, section 718.4, 4108. Discharging weapons. It's unlawful for a person to discharge rifles, shotguns, revolvers, guns, BB guns, or other firearms of any kind within city limits except by written consent of council. Okay, and I know he came to you guys and talked to you, but his targets are in city. I guarantee you, I can take you out there and show him. Now, he was out there last night about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I don't know what he was doing. He was going curb back in the back. I was waiting for him to start shooting again because that's what they just randomly show up in the middle of the night and start shooting, which is like mind blowing. So, okay, here's State of Iowa Code 571.51.3. Use of firearms. Target shooting shall only occur between the hours of sunrise and sunset, unless otherwise posted. Target shooting is restricted to legal firearms and shall not be done with any fully automatic pistol, rifle, or shotgun of any kind. Did anybody hear the machine gun Saturday? Okay, ask the neighbor that lives right beside him, right on the creek. The neighbor will tell you. And now I went down and talked to the neighbor Saturday, and he said the real concern for him was it's bothering him really bad because they just bought that property. They have 2 little children. They just put up a swimming pool. His wife will no longer let the children go out of the house. When I approached him and knocked on the door, I said, sir, isn't this very loud for you? And he goes, yeah, but I'm afraid to say anything because I don't want it to get worse. Well, now the kid's advertising that it's open for business. You go down there, it's all right on Facebook. I have pictures of it on my phone. You can go, you pay a fee to use the range, you pay a fee to rent any gun you want that he has, including 2 different 50 calibers, which really blows my mind. Right here in the state of Iowa, it says no machine guns. The neighbor down there told me, he goes, did you hear the machine gun Saturday? Well, I wasn't home. I was over at, I own the storage facility over catty corner from the old Orson store. And I was over there working all day. My wife kept calling me, will you come home, please? The dog's upset. They're lighting off bombs again. It wasn't until late Saturday night I realized that they have 50 calibers. That's what we've been hearing. It didn't used to be so bad. I mean, it was, now my wife has a flower farm on our property. It's not like open to the public. We're not a nuisance. We don't have deliveries coming and going from there or nothing. She grows, she takes them, delivers them, sells them to florists. And sometimes people have weddings, ladies have weddings, they come, they look at the flowers, they decide what kind, who wants to come out now at our flower farm and look at flowers on Saturday when it sounds like it's horrible. I invite you all to come to my home on Saturday. We can sit out back. I spent yesterday from 8:30 in the morning till 5:30 yesterday afternoon. And I went down every street in that neighborhood. You know what they all think it is? Fireworks. They think it's fireworks. And then I show them pictures of it. And she's like, they're like, oh, we're not letting her. I said, don't let your kids go by the creek. You can walk down the city trail. And this is a huge liability for the city. You can walk down that creek. It's a city trail. The city maintains it. The city has a bridge there that connects to the bike trail. And here's the worst part, where their firing is, the bike trail goes along right up here. What if they shoot? And there's so many concerns. For me, it's not just the noise. There's a soccer field right down there, exactly down where they're shooting. There's no signs.
We need to
Okay,
wrap up, please.
that's
Mr. Crooks, I have a question.
sure.
When you hear all of this shooting,
Yes.
is there one person, 2 person, how many people?
It's so random, and that's part of the problem, because sometimes it'll be Thursday night after dark when you're getting ready to go to bed. Then typically Saturdays or Sundays, you don't know which one it's going to be. Now, now that he's going public with it and saying, come, it's just ramped up really bad. Saturdays, I think there was at least 4 or 5 cars down there Saturday when I came home. I come home because my wife called me concerned about our dog. Now, my dog, he's a big dog. He looks mean. He's not scared of fireworks. The fireworks don't even bother him. My wife called me at least 3 or 4 times. Will you come home? Please come home. Atlas is shaking. He's scared. He don't know, that that 50 caliber, that thing shoots flames out like this far. There's no reason to even own one in Iowa. Now, again, I'm Second Amendment, pro Second Amendment. My best friend has a shooting range in Guthrie County, and he's NRA approved. I guarantee you this guy does not have insurance. I guarantee, I sent all these pictures. I've talked to every representative from the county to Jeremy King. Jeremy King, of course, it was a little late for him to be here today. He's a big pro gun. We all are. We're all pro Second Amendment, but we can't have this.
Mr. Crooks, have you met this gentleman that owns this property?
I have not met him in person. I've heard he's a nice person. He's a chaplain in the military. He's military trained. He knows how dangerous weapons are. He knows how big the berm is at Camp Dodge where they practice. The state law, Iowa state law says your berm has to be minimally 12 feet tall. And the path that you're shooting down, that berm has to be 3 times the width. And we know what he has? A pile about the size of this table, about this high. And the targets are right here. Can't tell me they're not missing. And the neighbor telling me when he shoots the machine gun, you can hear the trees going. I'm sorry, it's the wrong place. If it was out in the country, I'd take my guns out there and shoot if it was safe. And it wasn't shooting towards the city. I cannot. And then I talked to one of your council members And he tells me, you guys had a vote on this. And come on. You know how much I pay in taxes a year? We're talking about selling our house and I'm going to close my business down and leave. And then the place is going to sit there empty because I can tell you, and I'm not trying to be threatening. Nobody's going to buy that storage place because the taxes on it are $2,500 a month. It'll just sit there empty. I guarantee it. That's my piece.
Okay,
I have the officers out there, showing officers
Okay.
pictures of it.
thank you.
And every one of them says that's not safe.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Allison Canaley. I live out on 22165 130th Street, and I'm also here in opposition of this gun range. I don't understand who voted to say yes to this without having some type of,
He did not.
who voted? It was said that city council voted, so I'm
He
curious.
voted to outlaw
Okay,
firearms within the city property.
okay. That's good clarification. Thank you.
Yes,
So
but
if
we
the,
can't regulate the county part,
I understand.
and he's got a little triangle that's out there. They shoot in the city.
The berms, are they located on Perry property?
We will,
Are the berms within Perry city limits? If they are, then why is he not following the laws of the city that he is shooting into? There are very specific rules and regulations from the NRA about what is allowed and what is not allowed. Is anyone monitoring this? He has a retail business. I don't see a license from him. Is he allowed to do commercial things? I could not find anything about it being registered online. Is there insurance? That's a great thing to ask about. He's having people come to his property, use his guns. There has to be a liability there. So if someone were to get shot on Perry property from his range that's in Dallas County, who's at fault? Who is going to eventually take the blame for this? Our city has had enough of gun problems. We had a school shooting. We should be all very extra aware of how gun violence and how listening to guns affects people. My children were elementary school. They were locked down. They did not witness it, and they are still traumatized by it. They hear neighbors. I live out in the country. They hear neighbors shooting off guns, and it scares them. They ask, is that what happened at the high school? And then I have to explain. You want that by a park where my children play soccer. That's where they host all of the soccer games for the younger children, and they do the practices. Also, right by a bike path. You guys want to have Burr? Do it by our gun range. That sounds like a great slogan to bring people into town. I don't think it was discussed enough. I think it was done under trying to just get by with something. And I think that's wrong. If it would have been brought up in a public way, much more similar to how they did it, just had this in Winterset, where they had a gun range that was going in. It was next to a preschool and an alpaca farm. And they at least had an open thing where they're like, hey, yeah, we are talking about this. We invite you to come down. I just so happened to see this as a post on Facebook. That's ridiculous to me. Don't you think that that's something people would care about in their communities? I don't care if you have a gun. I really don't. As long as you are registered, you are trained for it, fine. No one is checking to see if he is registered, if the people he is bringing onto his property is registered. Every gun that's on his property isn't registered. And it sounds like he has some sort of FFL where he can have guns that are shipped to him that he can then sign over to someone. It's a legal transfer of gun ownership. Who's doing the background checks for that? Is it just lawless over there? They can do whatever they want? There's regulations that should be put on. And I feel like because he's a Perry community person, Perry should have some sort of involvement in this. And I don't feel like that's happening. And it's really upsetting. Thank you.
thank you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Skimmons and I live next to Dave, 806 Park Street. I've lived there 27 years. I used to be able to walk my backyard and it was nice and quiet. Now, my windows actually rattle when they shoot that gun. Literally. And I can't sit on my porch and I go like this, you know? I don't like gunfire, period. I've never been around guns. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's disrupting, the peace. And also as far as I can tell, it's disorderly conduct because it's near a residence. I mean, we live right there. It's just down the street. It's scary. So that's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think-
My name is Richard Peterson. I live at 620 Cherry Street. I've been a resident. I've been living at this house for 36 years. My property adjacents the city property, which adjacents his property. Now, when you're out doing something in the yard, you don't expect to have to duck every time you hear that loud bang. I was sitting on my deck the other day, just relaxing in the evening like I normally do, listening to the wildlife, watching the deer. There's lots of deer usually running around down there. And it was just about dusk and I saw a flash. What the heck was that? Next thing, 2 or 3 seconds later, it went boom, like that. I was in my chair and I raised up about 2 feet. I said, do I have to put up with this living in the city of Perry? Why? I've been a resident all my life. I went to school here. I graduated here. I went to Missouri for 4 years, came back, made a career here in town. I delivered mail here for almost 20 years. And I got to know a lot of people. I like people. I love people. But I mean, when they encroach on my home, it's like I'm at war. I mean, I can't go out in my backyard without, and that thing goes off. He shoots, could be during the afternoon. A couple of times it was after dark. I mean, last night, I think it was over the weekend. I got to bed about 9:30 and I got settled down. Kaboom. And I live within maybe 300 feet of that place. Like I say, my property adjoins your community orchard, and the creek is the only thing that separates me from his property. I used to walk down that path all the time. Why the bridge isn't fixed, I don't know. It's missing a section like this, so you can't even get to that north side. I thought it was city property. They used to maintain it, but I've heard rumors where the city doesn't even like to mow down there because they're afraid of him shooting. But that may be rumors. I don't know. I just heard that through the grapevine. But I may talk to one of the mowers when I see him out there because he's usually mowing right next to me. But you know, we shouldn't have to put up with that. I mean, as a resident, lifelong resident of Perry too, I've never had to deal with something like this. I lived out in the country where I had guns going off out in the county. You just kind of shrink it up because there's really nothing you can do about it. I hunt. I got guns. I used to hunt all my life. But, you know, to encroach on somebody else's sanctity, you want to say, or livelihood. I mean, I bought that place. I bought the field. I own 6 acres there. I bought that just for wildlife. I used to be farmed up to about a year ago. I got somebody else cutting hay and doing stuff with it. It's a nice, peaceful place. And you shouldn't have to put up with something like your backyard. I mean, you wouldn't want that on the north side of town next to you. You wouldn't want it on the east side or even the south side. It's supposed to be a peaceful town, beautiful town. Like I say, I wouldn't say that if I didn't live here all my life, but to have something like that in your own backyard, I don't know, I was never notified that this was going on. You would think even as a neighbor, somebody would have gone around, even if it was him, to let him know what his plans are. Even when they go to put up a cell phone tower, they at least let the neighbors know within so many feet of when you're going to do something like that. But why weren't we informed? And as far as bow hunting, I own 6 acres. It's all agriculture. I called the police in because I used to practice out back. I said, am I legal? No, you cannot shoot a compound bow in the city limits of Perry. But I just heard you guys okayed for him to do it. Now, why is it different for him than it is for me? I mean, it should go the same way. I mean, I got 6 acres. It's, you know, other than the park, I wouldn't do it anyway because with the city park, you guys put the orchard there and that looks beautiful. I mean, it's nice. It's a nice improvement to the area. But I mean, like I say, I don't want to make this I'm probably made it too long now, but I've lived here all my life. I love Perry. I'll never leave it. I'll probably die here, but I don't need something like that in my backyard. Really don't. I probably know most of you. You probably all know me. You saw me every day delivering mail in town. But I even know Joni. I mean, really well. Let's just say I'll cut it off here. If the county does something, I wish we would be notified about what they're doing. Can you guys work with county and let us know as landowners next to this, what's going on? I'm curious.
I don't think anybody was notified
No,
other than seeing this on Facebook.
something like that is a real, it really messes your lifestyle up when you
Yeah.
got that going on in your backyard. I mean, you wouldn't want somebody shooting next door to you like that.
No.
And like I say, that 50 caliber, it's got a concussion to it you won't believe. I mean, I duck. It's like lightning popping right next to you. I mean, it makes you duck.
Sir, by chance, have you met this gentleman?
No, I've never met Caleb. I mean, he was on that route, I think, when I was living where he does live, but I've never met him personally. I was going to say, it would be nice if somebody like that would come around and talk to you about it, saying, here, here's what I got a plan for this area, and this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. But I know my sister was a dispatcher for the police back in the 60s and 70s, and everything on Park Street straight out used to be city property out to minors. She used to dispatch for the police back then. But I don't know when that changed. And he actually got that little section north of me that was listed as of last year, because I had problems with my landowner to the north about a fence, and it's called no man's land. It's like a 12-foot section that goes about, I'd say about 50 feet. But up till whenever I looked in the assessor's map today, he got it. Caleb Whitey owns that little section, but it was always listed as no man's land right next to my property. I don't know how he got that, but it was on the other side of the city property on the creek there. City owns the creek, my fence line to the creek, halfway through that bike path. Now he owns that section next to me. But like I say, I don't know how he got it, but it was up till I had a surveyor come out, we looked it over. I even talked to city officials here because I had that fence problem. And I went ahead and signed it off. I mean, they were right on my boundary line. They put a fence up with no permit. But I don't want to be a bad neighbor. They felt I said, fine, I don't care. I'm not going to fly over 2 feet. But, that's what I kind of curious about. But anyway, I've talked to him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the open forum, move on to special presentations. Miss Sherry Scheib, Public Art, Bike Chandelier.
Here it is, find out that all of this stuff, or something much more.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Joe.
Patient.
I'm Sherry Scheib from Perry. I'm the Nudgers secretary. What I have tonight is way different than what everybody's been talking about. So I just wanted to go through this quickly. Up here on the screen, you can see what we've been working on. The Nudgers have a two-part mission. Enticing visitors to Perry is that second part and the reason I am here. For the last 4 years, I've had a vision of a larger-than-life lighted sprocket rims chandelier hanging over the bike trail. It would be as big as a draw as the incredible sculptures and murals and art festivals that we brag about here in Perry. 2.5 years ago, the Progressive Foundry was kind enough to help design oh, sorry, I'm short. It's all it's been lately, short. The Progressive Foundry was kind enough to help design and fabricate a 4-foot round frame for which the sprockets and rims could be welded onto. The cost of this frame was about $450. The Nudgers' cost was $0. So they gave us a frame, and you can see in the black part of it, that's the frame. 1.5 years ago, I posted on Facebook that I was looking for junk bikes. I drove all around the area and helped gather up 100 bikes. Dean Birkeland, the bicycle repairman and former city council member, dismantled 30 bikes. I dismantled 50. Yeah. I have the perfect fit with the artist welder Dean Jones of Perry. He's created many beautiful sculptures, and if you go to the state fair, you may see a few of his pieces. The Nudgers have gathered $2,600
in cash and in-kind donations. And we are still in need of $4,200 to cover electrical, the corncob light, the concrete, the sandblasting, painting, sealing, labor, all of that. It could be installed in 2 months if we can raise the funds. This is Dean here. He's already started. I am here to propose a location we nudgers feel would be ideal. When John Anderson, Becky Holling, Dean Berkland, and I stood in this area, we decided it was perfect for the connection to the parking lot, easily seen along Willis, next to the police station, easily accessible to the electricity in the building to hook up the corncob light hanging inside, far enough from the corner where the bike trail turns east by the caboose. There is a large concrete area to park bikes when the rider wants to get off and study the structure itself. So that pole that it is on would not look exactly like that. We have an old lamp post that Dean's dad, who's 80 years old, had at his home down in Malvern, Iowa, and Dean went down to get that. It already has electrical, the holes for the electrical and all that to run up into it. It's about 25 to 27 feet long. Dean can cut it all down to where we need. So this structure, the bottom of that sculpture would hang about 10.5 to 11 feet above the bike trail. 10 feet, I think, is required, and this is going to hang a little bit higher than that. So anyway, let's see. Oh, and we think that over here is quite possibly the perfect spot for it. It's not cluttered up. There's not street lights around it or anything like that. There's a flagpole there that can come down because it's not used for anything. So that is what I'm proposing. So I'm just proposing the place where I think it would be best. And I kind of drew a circle. It looks very artistic there, doesn't it? The one thing about this area, though, is the end of that building has that quilt block on it. I don't like that quilt block anymore. It needs to be repainted. I kept thinking that all I could see was some interactive kind of sculpture against that building where people would get off and interact with it. I have some ideas, can't talk about them. So anyway, okay, that's what I wanted to say. So there you go. Okay, thank you. I think we should leave Perry up on that building though and take down the marketplace and the quilt block and paint it and do something pretty with it. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you. I have to leave now because it's my mom's 89th birthday and she's in the nursing home and she is not good. So
Wish her happy.
thank you all for listening to everybody,
Okay.
what they all had to say too. And thank you for what you do. all.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, we have some Perry High students want to make a special presentation. So please come up. We need your name, address, and then start.
I'm Sterling Engeroth. I live on the campus of Drake University, and I cannot tell you the address of that off the top of my head, but I live in a residence hall. I am representing the J.N. Darling Institute. I worked in Perry this summer, lived and worked here, working to try and come up with some ideas to help boost tourism and also connections with the high school and businesses. In 2024, there were some focus groups that were conducted with the city and different community members. And out of that, we got this idea that we needed to figure out how to bridge this gap between our school kids, our high school students, and then also businesses and sustainability within that. And this presentation from Mr. Sorensen's class is going to show you what they came up with. So please enjoy.
Just this thing up. Brock Sorensen, 223 Warford Street. Really, for me, I just want to say kudos to these guys for this presentation. It's been awesome to partner with Sterling and the Darling Institute. This is my 7th year teaching in Perry. One of the big focuses we've had the last couple of years now is economic development in the town and how the high school might be able to assist with that. And Fortunately, we were able to partner with the Darling Institute to bring really the first of what we hope are many projects that the high school can assist with when it comes to with economic development here in the town. And this is a bike trail advertisement presentation that was first initially put together with my marketing group. I teach a marketing class in the fall. Once that group disbanded for Christmas, we came back with a few of my returners from my marketing group, but also my Business Professionals of America, CTSO. So we got to work on some presentations, some ideas that we're really excited to share. And we really hope that can kind of progress as we go through here. And also, as an aside, really appreciate you guys fitting us into the agenda tonight. We know that's not exactly how that goes. So really appreciate that. So without further ado, I believe I will turn it over to Andres, who's going to kind of get it started. And then we'll have Zayden and Lauren here chime in as well. So.
All right. Hello, my name is Andres Carrillo, 2801 First Avenue, Lot 47. I'm here to be one of the speakers for this presentation.
Hello, I am Zayden Miller. I live on 824 8th Street, and I will be one of the people presenting this presentation.
My name is Lauren Riley. I live on 115-244 130th Street of Dawson, Iowa, and I am the final presenter of this presentation.
Yes. Okay, so first off, we just want to start off listing reasons why a business might want an advertisement on the bike trail. So first off, we put restaurants, we put new customers, which would lead to more revenue for the business. We also talked about how they could go to like a restaurant to like relax after a bike ride or after maybe just even walking there. And this opportunity would allow a lot of restaurants to advertise a specific meal that might be going on. So like, for example, if they had like a special like winter themed like meal or something, they could advertise that on the bike trail and get some more customers. And it incentivizes them to come back also. So then also we got convenience stores, again, new customers, grocery stores, new customers. More so, it's just like bringing attraction to these like common areas that we know, but people that outside of Perry may not know. So if you're biking and you might not know what's like where to go after you are done like exercising. So convenience stores, grocery stores, and community buildings like the rec or something like cool down like in the sauna, not cool down, but relax after a bike ride in the sauna or something like that.
Here we just have a list of, potential businesses, just all local businesses that, we could promote. This is a little map of town and all the businesses that we would, not all of them, but a few selections and like a little map we would have on like sort of like a canvas to like show the businesses and where they're at and where you could go once you enter town.
I could jump in. So that would be like on the trailhead as you're entering the city. Imagine this kind of like a map. Not quite, obviously it'd be a lot larger than that, but just kind of like, hey, you are here, and then kind of just logos of the proposed businesses where you can kind of venture to say and kind of, finagle your way into those local spots and kind of just see where the hot spots are in town.
Would these be supported by the businesses taking out advertising?
Yeah, so we'll get to that. Yeah, the whole idea would be to have them pay, and Lauren did a great job with just some different revenue models that we can maybe explore just for businesses that are interested in potentially advertising on the trail as you're coming into Perry. So yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later.
So this would be like what the advertisement would sort of look like. This is like our first rough draft. It would say like the title of said store with the hours and what you can do there. A little QR code so you could go to a website that that would show them what it is. This next slide is what we kind of did to go more with the theme of Perry, obviously with it being red and whatnot. And then the rest of these you could just click through. These are just little like examples of what we could do and what they would look like, sort of.
Our next presenter had a track meet tonight, so they couldn't be here. They couldn't be here for this one, so I'm gonna jump back in. So this was just an example for us of what we thought it could look like when it comes to life. We use the storybooks there on Weiss Park as kind of a frame of reference as hey, here's what we think it could be. Obviously looking at some of the signage here in town, we're a pretty malleable group. We're open to suggestions on how we think it could look. This was just kind of our best guess in terms of like, hey, this could be a sturdy, well put together signage that businesses would be willing to invest in. So that's kind of what our jumping off point, our frame of reference was on the signage, how it might look. And then these next couple of slides here, one of the things that we had as an idea for bikers coming into Perry that are maybe not as familiar with the town is just having a little brochure pamphlet, kind of an aside, a little bit about the history of the town, some of the different attractions, maybe non-food, attractions. Obviously, a lot of our businesses that we focused on were primarily of the food and beverage establishment, but there's a lot of great things that Perry has to offer that may not necessarily, be paid or have to pay into. This part here was just another part of the brochure where we feature different spotlighted businesses within the town. So this example here, we spotlighted Hotel Patti along with Lou's Diner and Casa, just as kind of a little bit of a description, some of the different items available for sale at there too. And then this is where Lauren will jump in. These were just some further questions that we kind of had and some different things that we might need to chew on here as we get going. Lauren?
As Mr. Sorensen said, these are just some of the questions that we had for further discussion. Upkeep, who would be in charge of that? Could that be something that we could incorporate for students as service hours, things of that matter? Price to charge, we'll further talk about that in the next few slides. Spacing of ads, we also talked about in purchase models that some of the more expensive purchase models, businesses could have priority over where they wanted to be placed, as some parts of the bike trail have higher traffic than other areas. We also just talked about cost of materials and where to get those materials. What businesses would be able to kind of help structure those. We also talked about figuring out which businesses would be interested, as well as the one-time purchase or a subscription model. So if you go to the next slide, we have those. So the one-time purchase model, we kind of talked about having a QR code to their menu or website. It will be easily accessible by bikers, posted on the bike trail signs. This would be more of a permanent type of advertising. And then a subscription purchase model, we would possibly feature a business. You would have priority of the ad placement, social media appearance, and also a feature in the quarterly pamphlet. And then moving on, this is kind of the subscription model that we had planned out. A giant map, $149.99. This would be a one-time purchase, and you would be able to feature your business permanently on the trail's large map. And it would be as well highly visible to people on the trail, and it would help visitors easily access businesses, websites, things like that. And this would be a really good long-term option for people who are looking to advertise, as there is no reoccurring cost, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. In the brochure, this would be $34.99 a month. You would be able to place your ad in the brochure directly in front of trail users, and this would be a great way for people to find places just for a rest, to stop, eat, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. This would be displayed in a standard brochure rack, and it would be very easily accessible. And it would be an additional $15 fee for a spotlighted business. So we kind of had this idea that if a business wanted to be spotlighted, highlighted, whatever you want to call it, that would be an additional fee that would just easily better advertise or promote your business. And then we also had a bike trail ad, and this was also $39.99 a month. And you could promote your business with a signage placed along the high traffic areas of the trail. And this would easily be able to this would be an easier way to help guide bike trail users to any business that is posted on the sign. And we would also be able to reach like many people. The bike trail is one of the biggest things that Perry has to offer, and it also is a great tourist attraction, so it would easily be able to reach many, many people using the bike trail. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Any questions?
I do want to jump in and say that some of the initial infrastructure costs will be covered by the Darling Institute if this goes forward. Additionally, we also have plans to follow the brand guide with Perry to ensure that everything is consistent throughout city marketing.
I have a question. Did I hear you on an interview about this on NPR earlier this summer?
That is correct. Yes.
You did a great job there and here.
Thank you.
Have you talked to some of the businesses, see how much interest they might have in doing something like this?
So we haven't yet. That was kind of the next steps. We wanted to come talk to you guys first before we got all gung ho and started talking to people. You know, we wanted to get the city on board with hey, this might be a good idea, or hey, this wouldn't be a good idea. You know, obviously we did a lot of talking, you know, about pricing and things, you know, and that was, and we're malleable to this. This was kind of just our best. Oh, sorry, my bad. I was trying to use my teacher voice. How's that? A little better?
And karaoke is right after this.
Karaoke's. I think you guys will disregard everything I say if you hear me sing. No, so we wanted to talk obviously to the city first about, you know, just the reception, the idea, the thoughts behind that. You know, yay, nay. We've also, again, you know, we realize, you know, the presentation, the project itself is a bit incomplete just because there's a lot of factors that we don't know, you know, in terms of like the signage piece, you know, the upkeep piece, some of the questions that these guys did a great job kind of bringing up. So we didn't want to put the cart before the horse of like, hey, we've got this really good idea, get a bunch of businesses on board and then be like, pump the brakes, sorry about it. Like we can't do that. So that's going to be, assuming that we can, you know, get this ball rolling, that's going to be a very, very important project for my fall marketing class coming up. So it's definitely a project that these three and a bunch of others have started too. These aren't the only three. I mean, these are my faces here. So so I mean, it's been a pretty big group. It's been a really rewarding process for me too, to watch these guys kind of really take charge of this program. So or this project. So I couldn't really be more proud of them. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
As a councilman and a business owner and an avid bicycle or trail user, I think you guys nailed it. It's awesome. I would like to know more about it in the future.
Sure. We look forward to keep updating it and hearing from you guys and feedback. And that's one thing too. Feel free to email me with questions too. I mean, most of you guys know all about the high school, so feel free to email me. And like I said, we'll keep working and see what we can do. So
What would be the plans for any profits generated?
that is a great question. That is also an incomplete answer. I mentioned earlier, part of this is part of these, all three of them are members of my Business Professionals of America, CTSO, Career Technical Student Organization. I personally would love to see a part of the proceeds go to fundraising for that, just because it can be kind of difficult to fundraise given a lot of the stuff that we've got going on at the high school. I don't want to give you the crappy answer of we were kind of just doing this for the love of the game and we'll figure out the money part later. But that is my honest answer. Other than like, hey, I'd love to see some of this end up in the CTSO account, but that would be something too, whether that's, you know, a split with the city. You know, and really, like I said at the beginning, it's really more about economic development, you know, getting people here in town that or getting people to the town to see all the great things that come. Every time my parents come over for a visit, they're like, man, you guys got a lot going on here. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So, you know, that's really where we're coming from.
Any other questions?
Questions?
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
guys. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Yeah.
A lot of work's done already, and good partnership was great, and two are great representatives, great relay this week. Have a good one.
New mascot. Bulldog.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, now we'll move into our public hearing. So we're gonna have a public hearing on proposed fiscal year 2027 budget. Council has met and approved this, subject to discussion with the public, and so Susie prepared it, did a great job. Liz helped. Thank you both. The new assessment would be 17.91073 per 1,000 evaluation. So we will open that public hearing at 7 o'clock. Okay.
Yes, this is the final public hearing for the budget. This is the public hearing that adopts the budget for fiscal year 2027, beginning July 1st. As the mayor said, the levy or the tax levy rate would be 17.91073 per 1,000 evaluation. It's a slight decrease, slight decrease, like about a little a penny decrease from the previous year. Our valuation did increase about 10,000. But when we talked before, because our amount of taxable valuation was like 5.5%, we had to reduce our consolidated general fund levy by 2%. So that didn't allow us to collect as much as we basically should have. We went through and worked with all the departments on, making sure they could get enough to operate, and if we can get more funds through other means, then maybe look at amending the budget, make sure they can make some hires like they need to. The only charge for service we're looking at increasing is increasing the garbage service charge by $2 a month, so it'd be from $19 a month to $21 a month. That's for the regular garbage service, so your weekly bin pickup, and then yard waste service. And then the rest of that $95,000 increase for garbage would be from commercial truck. And we talked about before, this is all because of the $95,000 increase in tipping fees out of the landfill. That's really, we've talked about this many times before, so I don't really want to keep going over things, but if anybody has any questions. If anybody in the public has any questions.
Please step to the microphone, give your name and address, and yep, again, yep.
Sorry, we record them, so we gotta. No, you're.
Richard Peterson, 620 Cherry Street. The question I had, is it true when, as far as their dumpsters for recycle, if there's anything in there that's not recyclable, it goes to the landfill? Wasn't that in the paper or something I read online or something?
If
that would
I
happen.
think Josh is on, and I'm not sure if he's here.
I read it somewhere that said if there's even one item that's not recyclable, it goes, that whole dumpster goes right to the landfill. What do
Can
they
you guys
charge
he-
you for?
Can you guys hear
Yeah,
me?
we can hear you, J-Dub.
Okay. So no, what'll happen is, so once a week on Wednesdays, so now we have a third truck. So we leave that truck full of recycling and we take that to Metro Waste Authority down in Grimes every Wednesday. Now they will not like it that there's stuff in there. But they have people that sort through those. Now, in the past, we've had, those containers where somebody maybe dumped motor oil or paint or
Every
something
time
like
I go
that.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's a contaminated load like that, we have to throw it away. So by somebody doing that, it ruined the entire recycling load where we'll have to take it to Metro Waste landfill rather than Metro Waste recycling center. But I think this year so far, we're probably at, I would guess, 45 tons or so that we've taken down there to Grimes. So
What's that cost? Fun to do that, have to haul it to a dumpster instead of taking it to recycles. How much does it cost each time to do that?
so the correct answer is it's expensive. So, right now we pay 30.
It's cheaper to put, would it be cheaper to put cameras out there, have some better surveillance out there? Man, I could buy a surveillance camera for next to nothing and have it out there and watch. I mean, have it where it's got the old motion thing on there. I mean, there's times I see all kinds of stuff out there being just put in there.
Yeah,
Especially
And we do
That's
have
the big one. I
cameras.
noticed, I was putting a lot of cardboard in there and I said, what stupid people. I mean, they just duck anything they want in there. That's how lazy.
And we do have cameras around the city, in places that, people can't see them. And when that happens, in the one areas that we have, Chief Archer can probably attest, they've probably written 5 to 7 illegal dumping tickets in the last year, for people. They do not mess around with it. So they are getting a ticket for that stuff. The recycling wise, I can't say yes or no if we do have a camera system on there. It's hard because it's so busy.
Oh, you couldn't really, I would want to know where it is anyway, but yeah, it's too
Yes.
bad you guys can't more about that. Cut some
Yes.
of the city budget anyway.
Yep.
Josh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna intervene. Right through April 1st, we have taken 19.3 tons of recycling to Metro Waste and Grimes.
Okay. Yep. And
Just so you
it'll
have your
probably show.
tonnage.
Yep. It'll probably show every Wednesday. So that we go down there unless, it's a holiday or something like that where we're not picking them up. But and the other answer is, yeah, I mean, recycling is expensive. It costs us $39 to take garbage to the landfill. I think last time we checked, was it 105, Liz, to take? Does that sound
Yeah.
right? It's like $100.
Yeah.
We
Got
pay
it during budget season.
Yep,
And that was
we-
just to take it to the landfill, not to include the time and fuel mileage going into Grimes to take it.
right, not the landfill, the recycling center. But
Yes, the recycling Metro.
Yep.
That's all I had. I saw that, I read that somewhere and I go, is that right? No, it's not. So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other public comments, questions? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. We'll go on to old business. And this would be a resolution adopting the annual budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027. As discussed. So can I have a motion,
I
please?
move that we adopt the annual budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027.
And I'll second that. Okay, do we need any other further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Excuse me. Andor,
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item B is approval of GAX number 17 final for the CDBG contract number 23 HSGU 004 for the upper story Nedger's building at 1306 Second Street. And this, as it says, is the final one. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve GAX number 17 final for CDBG contract number 23 HSGU 004.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
Say it's the final one.
And all three of the apartments are rented, so
Good. And then retail space is still gonna have to be renovated.
yes, but they have to close out the upper story before they are allowed to do anything on the commercial space, but there is someone interested in it. But the timing may not work if we can't get it closed out in time.
The parking for those apartments, are they on Second Street or are they are they to the east?
There's one spot for each in the back. And they're asked to move during the day so the commercial retail space can use those parking spots during the day, which works out for most people because they go to work, so. But it's off-street parking and
There will be probably additional action items. This is just the final pay request. You'll see grant closeout and a whole bunch more to probably come in the next few months.
step one.
Yep.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item C is a resolution approving a temporary construction easement for on the property owned by ADR Axles, so that as we work on the road going into that we don't get in trouble by going onto their property illegally. So can I have a motion, please?
Motion that we pass a resolution approving a temporary construction easement.
I'll second.
Spending one of.
Yep, so this item and the next item are both tied to the Sumas Avenue construction project. I think we're waiting on two other property owners to get easements from. And then we'll be able to move forward with getting everything into the DOT for the RISE grant, and we'll be able to probably fairly quickly get that to bid this spring yet. So these were probably the easier ones. There's one that I think has a permanent utility easement, a temporary construction easement, and a drainage easement. So that one is taking a little bit more time with that property owner and their legal and engineers and all that. So we were able to get these two signed last week and just have a couple more to go, and then we should be ready to put Sumas Avenue plans out to bid.
Okay, the discussion. Roll call, please.
Walling.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item D, as discussed, is a resolution approving a permanent public utility easement on the JBS property out along Sumas Avenue. So we have motion, please.
Motion to approve item D, resolution approving a permanent public utility easement.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Shelley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item E, approval of pay application number 4 for the downtown improvement phase 1 project. Pay of $109,653.62 to TK Concrete Inc. Primarily for stockpile of materials and a little bit of work they've been able to complete. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion. Pay application number 4 for downtown.
I second that.
Discussion.
Do you have comments on this, Matt?
Not necessarily on this, just they're making good progress. Now we finally got some sanitary issues kind of addressed and looking at aggressively getting down Warpit Street to get out ahead of the drive-by activities coming. So
Say it again.
upward.
Say it again.
We're trying.
Okay, for discussion, roll call, please.
Walling.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item F is approval of pay application number 20 for the runway 1432 relocation phase 3. It's in the amount of $68,235.44 to Manats Inc. It's a reduction of retainage from 2.5% to 0.5%. So it's been recommended for approval. Could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve pay application number 20 for the runway 1432 relocation phase 3.
Garrett is, or was, is he still here? Garrett?
Yep, I'm online. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, so both pay applications that are on council for approval, obviously same project, same reduction in retainage as we wait for FAA decision on how they want to proceed forward with some grant closure items. So we're moving toward getting this one done.
That'd be very nice. Okay, further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item G is approval of pay application number 23 for the runway 1432 relocation phase 2. It's in the amount of $94,000 or $94,012.14 to Manats Inc. And again, it reduces retainage from 2.5% to 0.5%. And a motion, please.
Pay application 23.
Second that.
Needing more discussion? Okay, roll call.
Walling.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item H is last of old business. It's resolution ordering bids, approving plans, specifications and forms of contract, and notification to bidder, fixing amounts of bidders' checks, and ordering and publishing notice for a public hearing on the plans, specifications, forms of contract, and estimate of cost for the 1,500-foot parallel taxiway extension. And there'd be a public hearing is set for 6 p.m. May 18th in this room. So can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve a resolution ordering bids, approving plans, specifications, and form of contract and notice to bidder, fixing amount of bidder's check, and ordering and publishing notice for a public hearing on the plan specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the 1,500-foot parallel taxiway extension, excuse me.
Gonna start over.
You got started.
Second that.
I don't know if you all saw my email this afternoon. There is an update to the estimated project. Garrett can probably detail it more since he's on, but he did adjust some quantities that adjusted the overall price, and I think it's up to 1.7 or 1.6. Yeah, 1.6. So
Yep.
slightly higher than what was initially sent on Friday.
Yeah, there was based on the grades of one of the swales we had involved, it was best to include some drainage tile. And then looking at erosion control, those measures also went up in quantity. So the difference is $25,000 between the two estimates. But overall, this is the last project in terms of the runway relocation and taxiway reconstruction kind of complex. So looking forward to getting this one on the street and getting good bids, hopefully. And then construction for this, we don't anticipate until likely next spring. This is discretionary funded. So based on when we would expect the grant to come in, which is typically later for discretionary grants, later meaning say mid to late September or even as late as late October. Getting the grant in, getting it executed, then getting contracts signed if we have a early winter would be recipe for disaster. So we're expecting it to be in 2027 summer, right? Yeah, 2027 spring next year, basically. So anyway, that's it.
The discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to new business. Item A is resolution approving tax abatement application for residential construction completed in 2026 in Perry, Iowa. We did this last meeting, but we forgot one. So can I have a motion, please?
Motion to move item A, resolution approving tax abatement application for residential construction completed in 2026.
Second that.
Okay, we need discussion. Okay, roll call, please.
Shelley.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Walling. Klein.
Yes.
Thank you. Item B is resolution authorizing the submission of an application for the Iowa Department of Transportation airport funding and certifying eligibility requirements. To try to get some money for taxi lanes to a hangars that we hope to discuss at some point. So the grant would pay 80% of the cost and we'd pay the remaining. Our share is estimated to be around $100,000. So could I have a motion, please?
I motion to pass a resolution authorizing the submission of an application to the Iowa Department of Transportation airport funding and certifying eligibility requirements.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
So this,
Go ahead, Stan. Go ahead.
no, Garrett, you started first, you go.
Darn it. Okay. So last year we had submitted two grant applications to the DOT. One was a GAVI, which is the Vertical Infrastructure Fund, and then one for the AIP, which is horizontal. We were unsuccessful in procuring those two grant agreements with the DOT. However, there's been a push to construct hangars. We've got some individuals that are looking to build, but there is currently nowhere to build a new hangar from. So at a very minimum, we would be constructing, a taxi lane that would be providing enough space for a few hangars. But there is potential for working with a developer to construct something similar to what you see on the screen right now. This is an ongoing discussion, something that's still developing. At a very minimum, if the agreement with that developer would happen to fall through, there is another option and location to build a taxi lane and facilitate the construction of hangars themselves. But that's about it. You got anything else to add, Mr. Peterson?
I think that was a lovely summary. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
What's the preferred option, taxi lane 1 or 2?
Sorry, it really depends. So taxi, I don't know how many of you are familiar with that portion of the airport. But there's actually about, I'd say maybe 10 feet of elevation relief between the, green part of option 2 that touches the existing apron. And then goes down toward that new hangar development area, where, and it's the, same elevation difference. However, you get into an area where you're almost too close to runway 422, the crosswind there with the X shown over the center line. So there is another option. There is also a sufficient amount of material out there to be able to grade that path. However, obviously option 2 is much longer than option 1. So it's I don't know. We could build however far, as long as we get good bids, we can do alternate bids. However it works out, but we want to look at option 2 and see how it would potentially impact 422's protective surfaces. But I'd rather go with an option 1. It just depends. We'll have to do some analysis, depending on getting the grant agreement.
Jared, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Just curiosity. Do taxiways have the same stringent specifications as runways, or is that more general construction, concrete work?
In terms of like finished product smoothness or
You just asked an engineer a really simple question.
Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah, they still have to go through the FAA, that's follows in process, they have their own rules and regulations, taxiway to taxi.
Yeah.
Just for time.
Because there are taxiways and taxi lanes.
There are. We can talk about that another time.
And then the next thing is they'll ask you, what group, type of aircraft are you discussing, Councilman Mahler? And then it's a whole other avenue. Yes.
You say, Gary, you say there's a 10-foot elevation change on option 2 versus option 1?
Yeah. Yep. The further you back, the further north you get into the farm field, the ground starts to rise up. So it's a shorter distance, but you also have to make up less elevation. The green, it's just strung out longer. The developer, they put this exhibit together, and so they had proposed the green option, and we came back with option 1. The only difference is if someone were to build another hangar adjacent to the northeastmost, there could potentially be a little bit more hangar frontage if you built the green, so somebody could park an aircraft out front. Whereas it's just, I don't know, personal preference, but also it has an impact on runway surfaces.
Further discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Walling, Mahler.
Yes.
Shelley.
Yes.
Klein. Yes. Andor.
Yes.
Okay, and we have a couple people in the audience that have been waiting for this one to come up. Sorry for the long discussion ahead of you, but it's a resolution approving the insurance administration contract with North Risk Partners and approve the open access network health insurance plan in Health Partners Iowa for City of Perry employees. It ends up in a reduction of 11.91% this year, next year versus previous, plus we're not self-funding part of that. So could I have a motion, please?
I move that we approve the insurance administration contract with North Risk Partners and approve the open access network health insurance plan with Health Partners Iowa for the City of Perry employees.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
I've got plenty of time tonight, so.
So it's really good to be back here in Perry, and thanks for all that you do. And of course, I'm a railroad nut, so it's great to be entertained here because I'm a daydreamer and I see all the train pictures. So yeah, I'm here to be intentional, just to maybe answer questions. I can start wherever you'd like, as far as what we're doing as recommendations you just made. I'm gonna go through my spiel.
I guess the only question would be, we know it's supposed to be very, very similar coverage to what they have now, but as we also know that sometimes different companies don't insure certain things.
Sure.
If the employees really hate it, it's their options to go back the other way at some point. And
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear here. The health insurance program, not just for the city of Perry, but other employers across this country, myself included, I own the donut shop and don't get free donuts. It's the second biggest spend that you have. And so you can fall in love with the price of an insurance plan, but you really have to get into, the details. The number one thing that we want to make sure is we provide access to care. So the Health Partners Plan, just a little background, they've been in business since 1938. They're located out of Minneapolis. They have about 27,000 employees. They contract with 70,000 hospitals or 70,000 physicians and 7,000 hospitals across the country. So in Iowa, we wanted to make sure we could get you to all the providers that we could locate in the network that you currently have with Walmart Blue Cross Blue Shield. The second thing is continuity care, making sure that we can line up the benefits. And so Health Partners came back with a really excellent deal. And I pointed this out a few times in my conversations that no one's out buying health insurance right now. It's not like going to the grocery store where you can get 500 varieties of toothpaste. There's only a few folks that can really do it well and execute it well. So Health Partners was started by providers. It's still a cooperative with providers, but the shareholders are really the policy holders. And so they came in the state of Iowa in 2013. We've had a lot of luck with them. I know that Sven asked for a couple of resources or references that he reached out to. And then we came in here, not only met with Susie, Liz, and Sven to just present this program, but we also came back, met with the benefits committee, and then we had another meeting. And I took a lot of questions from employees. We researched those. We feel really confident that this is going to be an excellent program for you. But we just didn't look at the price here, nor did the city, because this is, let's face it, healthcare is an emotional transaction. And if you're sick, you want to make sure you're getting the services that you need on that. The other benefit of this program is, as you mentioned in reading there, we're able to eliminate that partial self-funding. I know that's created some stomach acid. We're dealing with hospitals across this country and providers that are chasing $226 billion of medical debt at any given time. So for those of us that have gone and used their insurance card lately, I have a high deductible. You kind of have one right now with Walmart Blue Cross Blue Shield, and you self-fund it down at a lower level for the employees, but providers are looking for their dollars. And so your underlying health plan right now, it's actually a $2,000 deductible. So if you go in for an outpatient surgery or an inpatient surgery, they're going to ask you for your money up front. People don't have that kind of money. So that extra EOB that folks have had to deal with here at the city, that we're going to eliminate that. So if you take a look at the third and fourth column, we're actually going to give you a pure insurance plan. You get one card. You don't have to worry about extra EOBs. This is an organization that does a phenomenal job. And again, they have a partnership with the providers throughout the state of Iowa. We were able to secure the same co-pays that you have today for the office visits. So you pay $10. We're actually also going to enhance the benefits by having $0 for doctors virtual care. So you can say out of the phone 24 hours a day. We're also going to provide a preventative eye screening once a year for your employees as well, and the members of your health plan. So at the end of the day, you have two columns on the far right side there. I believe that we're looking at the 10% option. That's correct. I'm going to put Susie and Liz on the spot there. We just wanted to make it as equitable as we could. So the employees are going to have really the same experience. They're going to get a new ID card, of course. We come in here every year to educate the employees. We want the tough questions, and you certainly have taken the time to make sure that we're doing everything we can
to ensure that continuum of care for your employees and members of your plan. I also want to point out, you were going to get about a 4% increase from the IGHCP Wellmark plan. So versus the renewal that was going to be offered, this is closer to about $150,000 net difference in total premium. And I think you're going to really enjoy the coverage. I've had a lot of experience. I work with public bodies. In fact, I dealt with the Health Partners renewal this morning. We just renewed that. They've been with them for 13 years. It's a lot there to unpack, but I want to make sure I'm answering any questions or anything that I have missed here. Please let me know.
Other questions, comments? Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Andor,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item D is resolution approving the group dental and vision insurance renewal with principal life insurance for the city of Perry employees. It's 4% increase on the dental and a push on the other. So could I have a motion, please?
Motion to pass a resolution approving the group dental and vision insurance renewal with principal life insurance.
I will second that.
Further discussion?
I wish your health insurance premiums were that of your dental premiums. Could be my only comment.
Yeah.
The good old days, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item E is a resolution approving renewal and increase of the Hartford insurance policy for group term life and renewal of long-term disability benefits for the city of Perry employees. Proposal is to bring up all the term life numbers to a more reasonable amount for today's costs. It's an increase of 23.68%, which sounds like a lot, but it only amounts to $7,300. So could I have a motion to
Motion to approve renewal, increase in the Hartford insurance policy, group term life, and renewal of the long-term disability benefits for the city of Perry employees.
I'll second.
discussion?
So Susie can kind of attest, we kind of started talking about increasing life insurance group coverage when we were talking about the health insurance premiums. Hasn't been updated since.
Has been about the same since I started
Yeah.
100 years ago. Well, and then like since the 90s, it's been the 10,000 for the employee, 5,000 for the spouse, 2,000 for the child. So in this discussion, when we looking at, you know, changing the health partners and saving funds, you know, we have been, you know, a lot of us have like had funerals lately for a loved one or something, and it's like, you know, the 10,000 won't even pay for a funeral. So we got talking about, well, maybe this could be an additional benefit or something else that could help our employees, since we're saving money on our health insurance renewal. So we asked Health Partners, or we asked Skip to find out, to determine what would be the premium for 50,000 for the employee, 25 for the spouse, and then 10,000 for the child.
And you're really in line with what we're seeing other public bodies do. And Hartford is a world-class organization. They have an accelerated death benefit. So if someone has a terminal illness, they're able to access 75% of their life insurance benefit. There's also an accidental death and dismemberment. So if your loss of life is due to an accident, your beneficiary receives double your life insurance. And there's also this thing called dismemberment, which I think we all know what dismemberment is here. But you lose a hand, an eye, those types of things, you can get up to 50% of your life insurance. So it really has a great program for the city employees and the members there. And really, if you look at the base rate of the life insurance, it didn't go up. It's just the volume really went up. Since we're increasing the dependent life, that's where you saw a little bit of the increase. But gosh, it's not easy to say cheap insurance, but this is a great benefit for just a nominal additional cost. And you know, it's a great recruiting and retention tool for you too.
It's just something that provides peace of mind for employees.
Further questions, comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein, Shelley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item F is a resolution approving the submission in support of a community catalyst building remediation grant application to IDA on behalf of 369 Sky LLC. I think this was discussed with all of you over the phone here a week or so ago, and this is just to kind of formalize it at the meeting, but the request would be for 100,000, and the city would provide a 20% or $20,000 in-kind match to the IEDA's grant. And this is for the old Bosco Grill building that is finally starting to come back to life. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to pass the resolution approving the submission in support of community catalyst building remediation grant application to IEDA on behalf of 365.
I second that.
So as the mayor mentioned, we did a phone poll or an email vote last Wednesday, so this is just redoing that vote. I believe the application was in your packet for all of the details of that application. And I do want it noted, I got it in early before the deadline
11 o'clock.
at 11 o'clock, an hour early. So Susie is rolling her eyes at me. It got done.
Questions, comments?
Congratulations.
Not yet.
You were up late.
Not yet.
IEDA has been very kind to us in a few years. So
Good to see a lot
They-
of work. on it.
Yep, most of the work that they have done so far has been gutting everything inside, and then they did do some tuck pointing on the alley side, put some windows on the east side, so kind of getting that building envelope squared up and making sure that it's
Proof on
I think in need of replacement. So that's part of what this grant application was for, mostly the facade, the roof, and then work on the main floor, as well as kind of putting in
that. I
the
mean,
the base infrastructure so that the apartments are ready to get put in.
somebody told me they were in there and they did not feel like they were gonna fall through to the basement when they looked around, so. They need some improvement.
I would agree with that, with the caveat of in most areas.
In most areas.
Yeah.
Is it part of is it part of the grant requirement to keep that building historically correct? Inside and out? Just.
It's part of, the grant would want that. Does ask about our historic preservation guidelines. But it's more so covered by our historic preservation ordinance.
Further discussions? Okay. Roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, being no further business, that we will adjourn. Thank you.